I've been asked many times about the jig I use to miter the corners of my book cloth. This jig allows me to quickly cut a perfect 45-degree miter, allowing for the appropriate spacing from the corner of the book board. I do make and sell a 3D printed version of this in my Etsy store, and there's a link to that in the discussion area below. But you can make your own pretty easily just out of scraps of bookboard. The example I have here is much bigger than it needs to be, so don't feel compelled to make it this big. Start by scrounging up a few pieces of scrap bookboard and cut them to the same size. Next, decide what you want your corner gap to be. I use 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters if you prefer metric, but you may have your own personal width that you like to use. Whatever it is, draw a line equivalent to that across the top of one of the pieces of bookboard. Then find something that has a perfect 90-degree angle. I have a metal square, but a plastic drafting triangle will work just fine. Anything really, as long as it's 90 degrees. The next step is to line this up, centering the square with the point sitting just on the line you've drawn. Draw guidelines down both sides of the square. Next, you will cut this piece of bookboard along the two lines that you've drawn. You will end up with two non-symmetrical pieces that will be glued down like this. Set that centerpiece aside. You don't need it for this. Apply regular PVA glue to one of the cut sides. It doesn't matter which one you start with. Line this up with the other piece of bookboard and put a weight on it while you apply glue to the other side. Press this second piece down in place on the other side, butting it up against the first side you glued down. Double check that everything is aligned, giving you the perfect 90-degree angle that you're after. Weight both sides down and let them dry. That's really all there is to it. So making your own is pretty easy. But again, I sell my own 3D printed version if you'd rather just buy one. The Etsy link is in the discussion below.